So, hello again. I thought I would try something different. Pick a chart that I never normally look at, and do the analysis from the monthly down and see what it's like, and see whether it's done what it should do or will do what it might do, if that makes any sense. So I was thinking of picking CAD-J. So we'll look at that on the monthly, because I wouldn't look at that normally because the range is so small. As you can see there, the data took a while to load, so it's not like I've made this one up. Average over 20 days is 176.7. Looks a bit weird because of the control. That's a bit more than I would have expected, actually. Well, we're on this chart, so why not do it? So, excuse me. Seems like I've had a cold for months. Low and high of the current month, because obviously that has repelled price to the shorts, pushed it down and pushed it up. You can see those wicks there. So previous month doesn't really matter actually, because the price is so far down here. This one affects price, and these ones would, and this one does, and that flip zone might. So let's stick those in. First the flip. PPZ, call it what you like. That is a month, remember, month of fighting the price up and a month of fighting the price down, and it settled at that level. On that red low there, on that green low there, where price is just having a little battle. Flip zone just there as well. Price pivot zone, if you call it what you like. A month of battling at that line there, the level. So we've got some interesting levels on this monthly chart now. You can clearly see the thing is in a massive downtrend. I'm not one to put my levels on the most highs, as it were. I'll go to the last high, because that's what I believe is the right one. If you were considering trading to that high there, then you would want, in my opinion, to have these lower ones there. The reason is obvious, that if you're considering trading to that line there, then it's going to have a battle on its hands to get through that level potentially, and even here as well. Something going on there. Flip zone there, extreme high there. So that's just for educational purposes, if you like, to get your head inside my head, how I draw my trend lines. I've got one connecting that and that. Now this is slightly different on the higher time frame. Normally I would always say only join levels that break the highs. In other words, they're valid support levels, true support, and that still stands. But we've got a wedge here now, so there was a clear wedge with hindsight glasses on, going through there, and there, connecting the green low there. Remember, that's a monthly level, so it's going to be massive in terms of how it affects price. So stick the weeklies on now, or we do have to mark that extreme over here, so that we know where we may have weekly lows in above that monthly low, and then dailies and so on and so forth. They will all affect price. Go and see what's going on over the left hand side. That's what I do. nothing obvious there that might affect price, bearing in mind price is down here. Might as well do the daily while we're on that part of the chart. Let's get rid of this thing because it's looking horrible. Well, the price is just there, so it's being affected by these daily levels here. There's a daily low there that has clearly been broken through because of the spike, and we've got daily low here. Remember, if the price is below these, then they will affect it when the price comes back up, because once support is broken, it can act as a resistance. There's not a lot else we can do on there. I know it looks like spaghetti junction on this daily chart, but it should become clearer on the lower time frames. H4 now. We can zoom in now. This is the critical sort of area of price movement. We've got high, low, lower, high, lower, low, lower, high, lower, low, and finally a close below that low there. Low, high, high, low, high, high. So the bias at that point was to the short side, but we have a break of trend to the long side. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, high, low, lower, high, higher, high, and break and close. So at the moment, what's affecting price, in my opinion, is this low here, because remember what I said, support once broken needs to be tested, and you can see the price is pressing up to that level. So that would be a critical level to close through. Whoops, wrong one. My mouse has chosen the typical time to start messing about. That is a critical level. The price is attacking at the moment. You can see that there, and there. If we close through that, then we've got a good chance of going up to the high of that candle there, the red one. It's a big red one. So we'll put a high on there. So that's good. Close through both of those. We've got clear air up to here. This is that very imprecise descending trend line. So we could make that more precise by attaching it there. It could be that that should be the correct one. We can tighten that up really now. So it looks like a confluence of areas where we could potentially trade above there if it goes up. We didn't do the daily chart on this one. Low, high, high, low, high, 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 low, high, high, and close. High, low, lower, high, lower, low. So that's a critical level there. Price reversed to the long side on the daily. So this is just the pullback on the daily for a potential up move. We can get rid of this thing now. I was just showing you what we were doing on that. I do on the higher time frames. I'll stop messing about. What else can we see from the daily? Well, we had a massive gap down there apparently, unless the data's not. So I'll just try and refresh the chart, see whether it pull in that. Excuse me. Clearly see this support here. If that was a gap down, a true gap, has held as resistance there. And that support is this line here. New line. And it tested to the pip again. This is why you know, I believe this, and I like to make you aware of this this occurrence, I suppose you'd call it. This it's just crazy how, to me anyway, how these levels get tested to the pip. I spent quite a while in a paid for room a few years back with a trader that a group of traders rather, well I say a few years back, it's well over 10 years ago, for a month or two, and I paid for it, and he taught market profile. In other words, when price breaks a level, it should come back and test it, because how will it know the correct value of a, he used tomatoes as an expression, oddly enough. You know, how will you know what the average value of something is unless you try and sell them? I think he was talking about Covent Garden at the time, and as it happens, I used to go to Covent Garden a lot, the flower market and the fruit and veg market, I mean. And this guy chose this analogy of you know, all the guys selling their wares on the different stands in the markets. The price will find a natural level, because the guys too high won't be able to sell theirs, and the guys too cheap will sell out. Market profile, look it up, have a read up about it. So if how will you know gold is worth £2,000 an ounce when it goes, or $2,000 an ounce, when it goes to 1,500, breaks the 2,000, it has to come back and see whether 2,000 is fair value. And it's always stuck with me, that tomato analogy. And as such, price seems to do exactly the same thing with anything, forex, gold, whatever. So this is still pulling back on that daily break. It has busted through the low, high, higher, low, higher, high, lower, higher, low, higher, high, and closed way above that. Came back to test it, and it hasn't held actually. Just double check that level, that one there. Oh yeah, it did. No, it has closed. It's closed below it. So this is now bearish, because it's come back and tested and hasn't held, and the price is dropping. So that daily chart tells us a lot, and lo and behold, the price is trying to reverse. So I'm going to stop this video now, because sometimes when I make them too long, which this one is going to be, they don't save properly. I'll make a part 2.